Resilient Mother podcast. I am Catherine Tyson Sewell. I'm one of the hosts. Miss Tiffany Lorraine Galloway is the brainchild behind this. So I'm really, really excited to be a part of this in this new year, actually, and just dialing up my friends, basically. So, Maxine, you are up. You are absolutely fabulous, amazing. You do such really great stuff.
Thank
And what
you.
we're talking about on today's show really is about resilience. So we'll get into that a little bit, but I definitely want us to just chat about you. Like, tell us about you. And there's so much to tell, right? And I've just been following your journey for a while now. I think you and I, we met on Facebook. So, this internet thing really just connects people, which is amazing. And it turned out to be like this really great synergy. And so I'm really excited to share you with this audience because you are really out there kicking butt and taking names. And
Oh,
so, yeah, tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to jump into it.
okay. Thank you. Thanks for having me. And yes, we go way back in 2014. That's when we first connected. And it's been a pleasure. I am originally from
Really?
Jamaica. Originally from Jamaica. I lived there for the first 15 years of my life. And then I migrated to the US. My great grandmother raised me, then she passed away, unfortunately. So someone had to take me in. And I ended up in Miami, Florida, where my father lived and his mom. So I lived with his mom, who's my grandmother. So I was raised by my great grandmother and my grandmother. Although I had my mom in my life, and of course in the Caribbean, the aunts pitch in and everybody pitch in to help out. So I'm pleased that I went to high school in South Florida and then I joined the military after I graduated. I tell people when I was in high school, I was singing and I graduated top 10% of my class and also most talented, but I chose not to pursue music. I wanted to play it safe, so I joined the military. And they usually laugh at
Yeah.
me
Well,
because
that's
military is
safe.
not safe.
That's safe.
Right, right.
Well, that's something. Yes. So if you've just logged on, we are here with Maxine Reyes. I just called her my friend Maxine, but it's Maxine Reyes, and she's telling a little bit about her backstory, basically. So, an accomplished singer, you actually have a couple of songs that people can actually listen to. And we'll get into that as well because I'd love for you to share a lot of the things that you're doing so people can join your communities as well. So continue and tell us how this safe choice that you made sent you in the direction of joining the military.
Yes, I wanted to be adventurous and I wanted to travel and gain a skill and go to school without having to work. The traditional route of working at a local fast food store or something to gain money for college. And so the military offered everything that I wanted, honestly. And I was able to join a few months after high school. I did some modeling that summer and then I went ahead and joined and I got the degree that I wanted. Um, I found me a man in uniform that I wanted. I traveled to so many different
Okay.
places. And you met him. I traveled to so many different places and then,
Yes.
just gained a lot of experience, professional experience, and world travel experience. So the military has been awesome. I retired several years ago, but it's been an amazing journey, very challenging in some cases, but all life lessons learned,
Yeah.
and I'm just grateful for where I am because of my roots, my culture, and then the military as well.
Yeah, and that's awesome. On the Resilient Mother podcast, what we do is we highlight women and mothers who are doing amazing things in their lives, and in the hope to inspire other mothers that are out there that would like to do things or are doing things, and to just encourage them that keep going because we really are building the future. And so I asked you to be on because not only your journey includes, being a part of the military, which is like, you are a woman in uniform, right? You're a military lady. But and you also, you found the man of your dreams, you settled down, but you guys also had a baby, and so you're a mommy. So we want
Yes,
to
I am a
talk
mommy.
about
That was
the
next. That was
just how,
next.
and yes, and of course,
Yes.
and when we talk about resistance versus resilience, like that, just being a mother alone is challenging. Being a wife is challenging. Being a part of the military is challenging. Trying to follow your dreams is challenging. But doing them all, that's where we are right now. Like, how? Tell us about that part of the journey.
The greatest part about doing it all is that I don't do them all at once. You
Yeah.
prioritize
Say
and
that again for the people in the back.
you can do it all, but you just cannot do them all at once. And that's where the resilience
Right.
comes in, because
Right.
you need self-care. You need that moment to take time away from the hustle and bustle of everything that you're doing. Because in life we want to accomplish so much. Especially for me, my personal goals coming out of the Caribbean is to take advantage of every opportunity that the United States had, and I wanted to do as many things as I can, or as I could, because I didn't have the opportunities, growing up, and the children there, they still don't have it, many of them. And being a mentor, being a mom, I wanted to ensure that I paved the way, paved the path, so that they can see Maxine did it, so I can do it. So yeah, we can do a lot of things, but we
Right.
just got to take our time and prioritize them. And that's an example I'm
Right.
definitely setting for my daughter. I mean, we can talk about her. I wanted to, I know this is a mom podcast, and so I wanted to savor that for the last, because she is my joy, my pride and joy, and
Yeah.
everything that I'm doing and I've done ever since I joined the military, I knew I wanted to do it for our daughter. And I say our, because still married
Yeah.
to Ken for how many
Yeah.
years now.
Of course.
So just everything
Yeah.
that I've done,
Yeah.
all the sacrifices, any challenge that I've ever gone through, I always see her at the end of that tunnel. Is that beautiful little curly girl? I always see her, imagine her at the end of the race, whatever, if it's a marathon, just anything that I'm doing that has challenged me, and she makes me resilient, because I think of her in the moments when I feel like I
Yeah.
I need to overcome something. She's my why. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I just want to take you back a little bit. You started
Mhm.
your career in the military. It seems like you and your husband met pretty early as well, during that
Yes.
time. That you met before the military or during the military?
So we were actually talking about that today, because I saw him when I was in basic training. And the girls, we train separate from the guys, and the only time we could be around the guys
Okay.
is when you're in church. And so, of course, all the girls and everyone would go to church every Sunday, because they want to, be around our brothers. And so when I saw him, I couldn't talk to him, but a few weeks later, he left and he went to Mississippi, and lo and behold, I didn't know that's where he went, because I never spoke to him. I just saw the cutie that he was, and I ended up in Mississippi as well. And once I was there, I ran into
Okay.
him, and I know this is not traditional, especially being from the Caribbean. You don't go up to a guy to talk to him, but I was like, I don't want him to disappear, because there's a reason why I saw him before, and then now I'm in a different state and I'm seeing him again. So I went up to him and I said, "Hey, are you from Miami?" That was my way of sparking conversation, because he looked like someone, because he's Latino, and so he looked like someone that I could have seen in Miami. But that was another way for me to spark the conversation, because I saw him while I was in basic training. And let me share with y'all, he looked at me like I
Okay.
was total stranger. He was like, why are you coming
He
up to
hadn't
me?
seen you.
Well, he's never met me, but he stared at me like I was bothering him. But he told me later the reason why
Yeah.
he was staring at me, because of my beauty. That's what he told me. And he'll tell you the same thing. He said, "You are so stunning that you stunned me so much I couldn't say anything." But yeah, 27 years
Oh,
later, here we are. 27 years later.
yeah. Look at that. And so now it took how long before you decided to start a family and become a mother?
So we dated 1 year, long distance. And then we got married and moved in together 3 months later because we were in separate states because of the military. So geographically, we were not together. But we were married for 11 years before we had our baby. We wanted to get to know each other,
Wow.
and we wanted to
Okay.
prepare, because we were both career people. We didn't want to just get married and had a baby knowing the military can separate us at any time, and then we would be a
Right.
single parenting situation, that we would prefer not to have.
Yeah.
I know certain situations
Right.
we ended up
Right.
that way, but we didn't want to have that. So we were married for 10 and a half years. Then we got pregnant and the baby was born after 11 years of marriage. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It seemed that there was a lag, so I wanted to make sure that you could hear me
So
still.
yeah, yeah, there is. Yeah, there was. So that's interesting. 11 years. Now, was there anything, or I should say, what were some of the challenges when you became a mother? Because you did stay in the military. How many years after becoming a mom?
Listen, you said you did stay in the military. There was a time that I was thinking of leaving the military because of separation from my daughter. The first time we were separated, she was 5 months old. I was breastfeeding, and I had to leave her for 3 weeks as a new mom. And I had to
Oh,
pump my
wow.
milk and throw it away. And that was one of the most traumatizing 3 weeks of my life. I was away from her, first time mom, and milk is one of the hardest things that women want to throw away. And moms, as a first time mom, I had to throw it away. So that was the first time we had our challenges, as mom and daughter. And the next time she was 11 months old, my husband was deployed to Afghanistan. And then it was my turn to deploy, and I went to Haiti after the earthquake, if you remember. And that was in
Okay. Yes.
2010, that I left. She was 11 months old, and I had to drop her off at a friend in Miami because my mom lived overseas, and I didn't want her to go live
Wow.
overseas because of medical issues that she had. So yeah, it was challenging times, and that's just the surface of our separation, like long, separation. Being a first time mom, and as you can tell, we only have one child because the challenges that comes with being dual military, meaning both persons in the military and having children, and then when you have to leave, there's a what's called a family care plan, which is a requirement that someone is there to take care of your children, whenever the military sends you to different places. And so our family care plan
Okay.
was always on speed dial because since we were both in, we had to be prepared to have someone who is capable of taking care of her, so we don't have to worry about her when we leave. And we ended up just having one child because imagine the hardship leaving one child or leaving multiple children, with a family, to take care of. And we didn't want to burden anyone with more than one child. So we ended up just having we just trying for one child. We had her, and we're like, "God, that's a blessing. We're grateful, and that's it." So yeah, many challenges, but
Yeah.
mainly the long
Yes.
separation from her. And that's a time when I said I was not going to stay in the military, because of some challenges I was having. When I first got pregnant, I shared it with my supervisor. And when she told her boss, who's my senior rater, he asked her, is she gonna keep the baby? And knowing, yes, knowing how long we've served, 11 years already, all the sacrifices we've already been through. Um, and then you're going to ask if I'm going to keep the baby that I've actually,
Why would I not?
yeah, I prevented from trying to have a baby until I felt it was a good time, my husband and I. And then we're like, you know what? When he came back from the war, we were going to go ahead and have a baby because he experienced so much while he was in Afghanistan that he's like, once I come home, we are going to have a child. So just prepare, do whatever preparation you need to do, because we need to try. And thank God we got
Okay.
pregnant within 5 weeks of him being home. And I was just grateful that, there wasn't any cobwebs hanging out because it was my first time trying. So like
It,
being
it, it
30,
sounds,
30
I
years
mean,
old.
it sounds awesome. Yeah, it sounds awesome. It really just sounds like every single thing kind of just lines up for you.
Yes,
Like
it's
everything,
God.
like even just seeing him for the first time, and then he
Hmm.
goes to Mississippi, you end up in Mississippi. We talk about him saying we're gonna have a baby when we 5 weeks you're pregnant. Like, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
that that just sounds like so much blessing. It just sounds like God is listening,
Yes.
right? And he
Yes.
is.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes.
And even throughout the trials and the resistance that we're talking about, but pushing through and still making it happen. I think that is
Yes.
incredible. It's an incredible testimony. And your life is a
Thank you.
testimony.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it
Yes, it
was some
is.
challenging
It
times when
is.
I thought of getting out of the military because of all those things that were happening, experiencing certain, another supervisor saying that he didn't think women should be in the military. So the challenges of being in the military period didn't just come like anyone else. As being a female had additional challenges, you know. And I shouldn't say a
Yeah.
female, but one who wants children, and one who has. I was pregnant when I was going through all these challenges, with not a lot of men, just the two that I had those challenges with. So I'm gonna say the military is amazing. It's we have many men who supports women in these roles, but you're always in any organization, you're always gonna find that one or two persons who will challenge you, and they will not. What's the word I'm looking for? They will not encourage you. They will try to discourage you from pursuing your goals, pursuing your dreams, and surpassing them. It could be a fear that they have because you are
Yeah.
amazing, and
Yeah.
they feel inferior to you for whatever reason. But yes, there was a time when I considered getting out, and my husband and I talked about it, and he was like, you know what, baby, you're gonna be fine. If you have to leave her again, if I'm not here, we have family that loves us and loves her, and they'll take care of her whenever we both have to leave. And so I just said my prayers, and he and I spoke about it. And at the end of the tunnel, just the end of the race, we always want to say why we doing this, or why did we do this. I wanted to make sure that my daughter knew that I did this for her. The challenges that I went through, all those
Yeah.
tough times, I did it for her. And look where we are now. I'm grateful because both
Yeah.
of us are retired, from the military. I'm still working, with the speaking and everything else that I'm doing. But I decided that I was not gonna let them take away my why. Like, this is why I'm doing it, for my baby girl.
Yeah.
And so whatever they say
Yeah.
is going to go through one ear out the other, because I was not going to let them stop me. And I'm so grateful that I didn't let them stop me, because I'm
Yeah.
home, and she's homeschooled now. If I had to go to work every day still, I
Right.
don't think I would be able to homeschool her, you know? And I don't know if you are
Yeah.
aware, but she's doing some
So
amazing things, you know? Go ahead.
yeah, I know. Well, first of all, you're an amazing singer, and I've heard her
Mhm.
sing. So you bring her in on things quite a bit, and she's amazing, by the way. Like
Thank you.
I say that about I have two daughters. So I have my older, no, that was my baby. Now I got a little baby, but I always say like everything that we put into our kids, like they're better than us. They're amazing. We want that, right? And
Yes,
so
yes.
we just want their lives to be better. We want their opportunities to be better, and that's just what we do as moms. So She is incredible. I want to ask you a quick question.
Mhm.
During that 11 years, you climbed the ranks in the military. I want to know yes or no. And I also want to know if after you had the baby, did you continue to climb? And what, when you retired, what was your rank? I want to know that because I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, so the military has the enlisted side, and then that's the non-commissioned officer side, and then the commissioned officer side. The I was a technical sergeant in the Air Force. Note that I was in the Air Force first, and then I joined the Army. But when I was in the Air Force, I made it up to technical sergeant. Honestly, at fast pace within 11 years, I had senior airman below the zone, which was escalated promotion I think it was, yeah, 6 months early. So I was climbing the ranks, and then I decided after I got my degree to become an officer, which pretty much starts you, as far as rank on the officer side, starts you at lieutenant, which is the bottom of the officer chain, but you still outrank those on the enlisted side. So I got my degree and I wanted
Right.
to become an officer, and the Air Force did not have any positions open. They had a military equal opportunity position that they offered me, but that was still part-time. I wanted to go back on active duty full-time, and so I can retire after 20 years versus having to wait until I'm 59 and a half or something like that. So I became an army officer. The army
Right.
had open positions, and they snagged me right away, because my husband and I, we were both very easy recruits because our record, we had stellar records. And as I said, we were pacing ahead of our peers. And so we were able to get onto the army and then go to candidate school with the army. And by the time I retired earlier than I wanted, because I got sick. So, unfortunately, I had a medical condition, service connected medical condition, and I had to retire early. And I retired as a captain, which is still a great rank. And honestly, I wasn't looking to become a colonel or anything like that, because my goal was to do 20 years, could be 1 or 2 years over, so I can get my retirement and retire young. So that was my goal. I didn't have,
I like the
any.
sound of it. Captain Reyes. That's good. Good.
Captain
Sounds good.
Reyes.
Captain Reyes. Come on.
Yes, yes, yes.
Captain Reyes. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
With being a mom. Now let me
Yeah.
ask you, when you started to develop this entire other career, the
Hmm.
the speaking, the singing, because you're sought after as a singer. I know you've done, I've watched you because I'm your Facebook friend as well, and I know I see
Hmm.
you singing the national anthem all around the country, which is
Hmm.
amazing because
Thank you.
it's you're just paying homage to the American dream, the America, the country. I love that. And you do really amazing. You look fabulous. First of all, you look
Thank
good. So
you.
I know that you're taking care of yourself. You're working out and stuff like that. But yeah, all these kind of things that kind of segued from this beautiful career that you had, that did have opportunities and did have the downside as well, leaving your daughter, being separate from your husband and different times in your lives. How did that even happen?
Me singing, being able to sing at those events.
Singing, speaking,
Okay.
happily joined, all the stuff that you're doing outside of, you're becoming Captain Reyes and being, your daughter's mommy.
Yeah. I started singing. Well, I mentioned high school, being most talented in my senior class, but
Right. Of
I
course.
never
Yes.
stopped. I never
Yes.
stopped singing while I was in the military. As a matter of fact, as a punishment, I sang the national anthem at one of our graduations, because I was on duty, and they had a speaker phone where you can actually hear what's going on with the person on duty. And here I am, bored as ever, just waiting for activities to happen, and I just started singing because that's what I do. When I'm bored, I sing. And then
Yeah.
the drill instructor told me, he's like, um,
You
if
can
you
sing.
continue to sing, he said, if you continue to sing, I'm gonna let you do the national anthem at the graduation, at y'all graduation. And I was like, oh my God, I was so scared because I've never done the national anthem. And so I got caught singing again. And of course, I had to learn the national anthem because I didn't really know it as well. I didn't know it very well. Because we used to do the Pledge of Allegiance in school, but not the national anthem. And so I had to learn the national anthem and I sang it. I was scared to death because, when I see anyone do it, it's at the big games, Super Bowl or whatever, and it was always a big deal. So yes, I was scared to do it. I did it. I did an okay job, I think. But my biggest thing was remembering the words. And I remember the words for the first time. Now I'm not going to say I
Right.
remember the words for another time that I had to do it. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I did forget the words at one of my earlier performances, and I vowed to myself, this will never happen again. And thank God, now I'm more confident with singing it, and I'm not worried about how it's going to sound. Then I forget the words, when I worry.
Right.
So now I just go out there, and
Right.
it feels like it's a part of me. You know what I mean? Because I've done it over probably
Yeah.
200 times. I've done it so many times.
Well,
I've done it for the
you're in good ranks. You're in good ranks because Christina Aguilera forgot the lyrics to the song. So
and she does
so
this for a
if she
living.
can
Like
forget
this
the
was her.
lyrics, you can forget the lyrics too. It's okay. As you were talking, I remembered I went to I'm from the Cayman Islands, right? And but
Yes.
I went to for I guess kindergarten in New York. I was in New York when I was 5, so 5 to 8.
Hmm.
And those days, because I'm older than you guys too. Those days from kindergarten, we were singing the national anthem and pledging allegiance. That has changed over the years because when I was in my early 20s, I was a substitute teacher in Miami, and they weren't singing it then. They were playing just the music over the intercom, and they had to recite the pledge,
Pledge of Allegiance.
but
Yep.
they were not singing it anymore. So a lot has changed,
Hmm.
but
And that's what
I've known
happened.
those words. They've been a part of my life for forever. Just the words to that song, because it
Yeah.
represents so much for me as well, coming from the islands.
Hmm.
Like what you said, I resonate with that so much. The
Yeah.
opportunities, the things that we don't have here, that
Hmm.
Americans have freely, and I love that. I really, really love that. And I would hope that are tuning in and listening, that they grasp those opportunities for their children, because
Hmm.
when you're from the islands, or when you're from other places of the world, you may not necessarily get all these things or these opportunities. So embracing it, pushing through the resistance, but
Hmm.
getting that. And you saying that your daughter is your why is so inspirational, because most mothers, a lot of things that we do, or the reasons why we do it, is because of our children. We want to make a better life for them. We want their things to be different for them. The things that we struggled with, we don't want to have them struggle with. So it's really, really amazing just to hear the similarities in all
Hmm.
moms everywhere. And I
Yeah.
think this podcast is one of the things that really it aims to do that. Aims to bring beautiful mothers from all walks of life and
Hmm.
talk about it. And today we have a military mom, we have a singing mom, you
The
know, we
coach.
have a mom that was from Jamaica, that is now in the US for a very long time. We have, just an entrepreneur, basically, a retired veteran. So, and look at you, you still look like you're coming out of high school.
Thank you. I heard that today,
No,
and I
for
was like, man,
sure.
if you know how tired I am, but because I just moved to be totally transparent, just moved within the past, well, actually a month ago, but I haven't lived in the house that long because I was overseas. But I've been in this house for 3 weeks, and all I've been doing is unboxing and trying to
Yeah,
organize everything for the
it's
holidays. So
crazy.
Yeah, but if I get some
Yeah.
rest, you'll see.
And
I think I look a
you
little
said
bit younger.
you look good. You look good. You
Thank
said that
you.
your husband, I think on Facebook, you said your husband chose the house. Did he chose the
Well,
house for you? Like you didn't choose the house?
no, we actually went to see the house before I left for Japan, and
Okay,
then
okay, okay,
I had to sign a power of attorney so he could take care of the final sale because I was
okay,
overseas
okay,
with our
okay,
daughter, because I challenged
okay.
her to learn Japanese because she wanted to visit the country, and she took on the challenge. And as a matter of fact, she just took the Japanese certification test on December 1st, but we had to go to Japan. We chose to go to Japan so she can do an interactive immersion with a family there, a host family. And so she can practice cooking, speaking the language with that family, and just doing everything as a Japanese. And so that's why we were there. We were there for a few weeks. And then by the time I came back, my husband said, once I called him and told him I was at the airport, my car was at the airport. He said, "Babe, don't forget we have a new house now. So here's the address. You don't go back. Don't go to the old house. We're at the new house now." So I left with from one house and then came back to a new house. Yeah.
Listen, retired veteran singer, uh, world traveler extraordinaire. Maxine Reyes, thank you so much for joining me this day, afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me on this Resilient Mother podcast. And thank you for making a difference. Thank you for your service and for making a difference in the lives of many, and especially in the life of that young lady that calls you mama. That's what we're
Thank
here to
you so
do. Just,
much.
build better people, make better
Hmm.
decisions. And I really appreciate that. And I love that. And tell the people where they can find you, or any type of anything that you'd like to tell them, in terms of publications or joining your communities. Let the viewers and listeners know.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for hanging in there with us and for supporting this podcast. It's so important to highlight moms and the things that we do for our babies. Victoria, I want to start with her because she's my why. You can actually check out her page, victoriareyes.com, and then maxinereyes.com is my website, and I'll direct you to all social media. There's so much to come in 2025. Um, a lot of features and just a lot of creativity that's going to come from both of us. As I said, she just finished her Japanese certification exam, which is a once a year deal. But we have to wait till January for her to get the final scores and then know if she passed. But we have a strong feeling that she did. She was the youngest that took the test, so but check her out. Check out my website. Social media is on there. Everything on social media is Maxine Reyes Live, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and everything is on the website. Oh, by the way, my latest song, Praise God, is on iTunes, Spotify. So check that out as well. Support my music, and just look out for all the great things to come, and
Yes.
support this podcast as well as the other mommies that you'll be listening
Yes.
to.
Thank you. And make sure that you share us with your communities as well. We'll let you know, what we're doing and all the things that's coming up, as well. But you also, I know you have lots of other music, so they just have to check for your name. Just look your name up, follow
Hmm.
you on your social media, and just keep up with you because you're pretty active. You're fabulous. You're beautiful.
Thank
You're
you.
such, and you're so kind. There's kindness coming out of you. It's around you. It's surrounding you. I love that.
Thank you.
And it makes the world a better place. And you make the world a better place. And thank you so much for joining us
Thank
this
you, and you too.
afternoon at where I'm at.
Yes, same
Thanks
here,
a lot.
afternoon.
All right. Take care. And thank you
All
all so
right,
much for
ciao.
joining us.
Thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe so we can share this message. We are a worldwide podcast with guests all around the world, and we want to continue to grow this community. You can find us on socials. You could also be a guest. Look for that link below if you'd be interested in being a guest on the podcast. If you know a sponsor or would like to be a sponsor, please reach out to me or Catherine as well.
Sure. We want you all on this journey. We want to hear your stories. We want to share your stories. We want to gain strength from each other because together we're stronger. And to never forget the blessing of being a mother and what we're creating. We're creating the future every single day of our lives. So get on this train with us and let's do this thing, moms.
I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. And we'll see you around. Take care.